So, hello everyone. My name is Adel Boumerzoug. I am a student of architecture in the New University of Biskra. I got my master's degree in 2016, and I am preparing my PhD thesis since 2 years. So, I started my work in the idea to, I will just show a brief introduction about my work and how I found the problematic. Then I will talk about the art of the state and exploring the problem and task that I have accomplished. So, first thing, I saw that the vernacular architecture was a genius architecture and was very innovative in many countries. If you see here in Algeria, like Hadagha, and here in Egypt. For thousands of years, it's respond to the context and it's work with the climate, and it's very inserted in the seat. And there is a comfort in this building, and it's respond only there in culture. After the decolonization, Algeria was colonized by French, and after decolonization, there was a mass production of individual and collective housing, because there was a lot of population. This mass production was not studied well. So they will just bring a standard building and they will put them in many places. This standard building changed the way that the old vernacular architecture was. There was a plan that responded to culture, to comfort, and it's changed, even in the facade of the buildings. And in the field of comfort, the traditional building was responding to all comfort criteria. But now they use the air conditioner everywhere, and this thing make change of context and increase the global electric consumption and increase the carbon emission. And that's not sustainable. So the reflection is to find a solution to all these problems and answer to the need of users by optimizing the buildings. The idea was to bring from the old architecture the ingenious techniques and the innovative, like this building in Sydney. They bring us the budget. It was a cooling strategy, and they make it innovative. So, like we see here, there is many experience that try that thing, like Hassan Fethi in Egypt, and in Toulouse, and Iran. They bring up the old architecture and they make it like a new one. That's the problematic and the hypothesis, objectives. So, I started with the start of knowledge. What have done before me, to find out how they work to collect information and to study about the methodologies. I found that there is many vernacular type of architecture in Algeria, in the south of Algeria. There is Ghardaya, there is Bashar, there is Abbas, sort of Abbas. Then I found they use some techniques to make a local comfort in the building, like they use these windows. It's called Mashrabiya, it's bring the cool it's bring the air flow, and it's block the sunlight. To confirm there is a real problem in this field, I make a questionnaire with my colleague in collective housing. I asked them how they use and what time they use the air conditioner. They thought the most of them used the air conditioner like 24 hours a day in the summer. So I just to confirm another time the problem, I tried the simulation about this building. A simulation that simulate the sun lead time and the energy consumption. I put all the information in the software, and I remake the real state, and there is great consumption of energy. And when I replace the materials and the window of the new building with the vernacular building, I found that there is the energy decreased with 15%, and with the windows with the vernacular windows, it decreased with 3%. So the problem is confirmed, and the hypothesis that tell that the old architecture improve the energy consumption, it's real. So I make an exploration of vernacular architecture in the Zibal. The Zibal, it's a region in Biskra, it's the great region of Biskra. There is multiple qsor in the Zibal. I go to see. I went to see them, and I saw that they are falling down, and I must choose the good one from the worst, so I can recreate these buildings. I found that there is a good building in Msid, and there is a good little village in Farfar, but in Bouchagron and Bouchagron there is no more houses. In Lishana too, they are fallen. Urlal to Umash, and Mriri there is not measured yet. So I go in this place and I take the plane statement to reproduce this building, and to extract strategies, and I take measurement to find out the thermal performance in these buildings. And I found that there is 4 or 5 main strategies in this building. They use a thick wall, so they protect the building from the sun, and they use compact urban form. They use conservation of space, they are protected from the sun. And now I'm in the optimization process. I'm in the part that I take these strategies and try to make a new model of new buildings in Biskra. Thank you.
What is Musharabiyya?
Yeah, Musharabiyya, it's the old window type. It's like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I think can be interesting to ask some of the architects, if there is some use of traditional techniques, for example in Sicily, which is not so different as climate as Algeria. as
Yeah.
similar ideas, similar projects, because he wants, of course, to reduce energy consumption using all the techniques to cool the inside of it. Because I heard something, but I don't remember exactly if it was in Italy or not.
Yeah.
Because first thing comes to mind is Sicily, because Sicily is quite like Algeria climate.
Yeah.
At least north part of Algeria.
Yeah.
It's useful to
So maybe io...
filtrare le luci.
Sì, ci sono delle... So che qualcuno ha fatto degli studi. So maybe if there is an example you can include.
Yes.
This is the first thing that comes to mind. This vernacular architecture is dating from before the colonial era.
Yeah.
So it's traditional, maybe it's dating back to medieval.
Yeah, it's traditional.
Are there differences between Sur and vernacular architecture?
I think.
Sur è la fortezza granaio, la fortress.
Yeah, so it's the whole village. It's the name of the Sur. Vernacular architecture, I think it's there is a lot of vernacular architecture in the world. There is, like an example, it's old Roman architecture, vernacular architecture. But in the region of Sahara, they call them, this village called them Aqsur. There was a fortress, and there was a building near each other like this. It was like that. And there is a fortress. So they call them Aqsur.
These coperture sono tetti.
Ah sì, okay.
I think it's an interesting
subject.
thematic. You take measurement about solar radiation and temperature and different seasons of the year.
I think of the summer season because it's the worst time of the year. There is high temperature. It's like 14 degrees. So to compare the outside and the inside of a vernacular house.
Okay. And during your permanenza, stay in Italy, you have to do research in a bibliothèque. Padua, I think here, the architecture, and perhaps engineering.
Yes, probably, because engineering should be now. So we have engineering in Padua, which is very big, and it's divided into sectors. There is, I don't remember the name in English, it's like architectural engineering. Probably, I can make a search, but probably there are some studies about this. For sure. So maybe you want to compare. I remember something, but I cannot place my memory about this because I already heard about this. Not exactly your case, of course, but in general the idea to refresh the houses using a traditional system instead of air conditioning 24 hours a day. Okay. I will try to remember if I find something.
Questo è un argomento da andare a casa.
Sì, ma io sto ancora. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We can use your computer?
Okay. The same computer.
is Khaoula Lakhdari, PhD student in architecture and environment. This is my third year. My title, my thesis entitled Impact of Window-to-Wall Ratio on Luminous, Thermal and Energy Performance of a Building, Case of Hot and Arid Regions. Presentation plan, keywords, introduction, methodology, and plan work. Keywords: window-to-wall ratio, facade walls, luminous performance, thermal comfort, energy consumption, hot and arid climate. The window-to-wall ratio is an important factor affecting the thermal comfort, the quality of natural lighting, and the energy consumption of the building. In our hot and arid climate, it is necessary to minimize this ratio to reduce heat transfer. But until which degree? Such as this reduction influences primarily interior visual comfort. The question that arises is, what is the impact of window-to-wall ratio on the luminous, thermal and energy performance of a building in hot and arid regions? The control of window-to-wall ratio by designers plays an important role for the building performance. We will study the various parameters affecting the performance of windows and simulate the different types of ratios by axing dimensions, location, shape and orientation. Our objective through this work is to understand the relationship between the transparent surface of the vertical walls and the performance of the interior space. Optimize the opening ratio of the facade and give precise values adapted to the hot and arid region. Find the right balance between the need of natural lighting and reduce the heat gain through openings. Avoid the problem of overheating and reduce the impact of sunrise while ensuring the luminous comfort. Ensure user comfort and reduce energy consumption. Our methodology divides into two parts. The first part is it consists to identify the state of the art of our term through a bibliographic research to define the concepts and the basic notions. The second part, an experimental study by field measurements and the simulation through Grasshopper software. Our thesis divided in 5 chapters. First chapter, thermal comfort in hot and dry climate. Second, luminous performance of school spaces. Third, window-to-wall ratio and energy efficiency. Model of analysis and experimental study. And 5, numerical study by simulation. Field measurement. Choice and analysis of case study. Our study focuses on schools in the city of Biskra and especially classrooms. Research work has done from graphic documents, field measurements, and photo taken. Various institutions were visited and analyzed. The objective of this step is quantitatively evaluate natural lighting and thermal gains in the classroom. The measurements were taken during the coldest period of the school year, during the winter, and the other measurements during the hot period. Measurements made for assessment the thermal comfort in the classroom. The measurements have been carried out is exterior and interior surface temperatures of the visual walls of the classroom, indoor and outdoor air temperature, indoor and outdoor relative humidity and air speed. For evaluate the natural light, and because of the complexity of this phenomenon, we limited the study for this physical parameter. The illumination received on plan work and the uniformity of the zones. 3 types of measurements were made. measurements of overall exterior illumination, measurements of anterior horizontal illumination in many points in the space, and measurements of vertical illumination at the center of the windows. Treatment and analysis of results. And after that, the second part of simulation using ladybug and honeybee plugin, the parametric study for the classroom in the hot and arid climate for find the multi-objective optimization. The objective is the minimal energy consumption and the maximal useful daylight illumination. After that, evaluation of the optimum solution. Thank you for your attention.
Very architectural engineering type.
I think it's very interesting about all because in the antiquity there are many differences in building windows in northern part of the Roman Empire and the southern part of the Roman Empire. And there are differences, I think, also about the dimension of the window and the collocazione, placement of the windows and the superior or inferior part. And io ho fatto misure.
Yes, in your case you study what is today. You go and measure current houses. Because of course there is, as your colleagues, the idea of going to see what they did in the past. What was the ratio of the window to the facade?
My kids study in classrooms, not in the house.
Classrooms.
Yeah.
Classroom is school.
Specific use for classroom.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.
You know, some place in Tunisia, Bullaregia, Roman town, that where the houses has two levels. One level the surface straight, and one level subterranean, but the illumination is only attraverso through the central court of the house. There are no windows.
Now, no windows on the outside. Maybe like a school with no windows on the outside, and only a central courtyard and all windows on the. So.
Cioè, un livello stradale, non so se conosci Bullaregia.
No, però mi vengono in mente.
Beh, anche Mahfoud.
No, ma tante idee del genere, dove l'idea generale è tenere chiuso fuori e chiudere verso l'interno. Okay, here in Italy, maybe you want to see some local uses of what's your idea to research here? Maybe go and see some bibliography about similar studies.
Yeah, and I would know if there is some works with this software, Grasshopper.
The specific software, or maybe you should ask Salemi, because he uses Rhino and Grasshopper, he knows surely better than me. And I think there is some study, you have to do some research maybe in bibliography, but there are for sure some studies, again, more is like engineering type. I see your study, if I have to do a parallel here, your kind of study will be made in civic engineering, to state which is the best window to facade ratio for the maximum. So maybe I think your parallel here is engineering as your colleague, engineering and architectural engineering. maybe the same person who can give us some help for him is the same person who can give us some, or maybe all of you, I don't know. we are here to understand this.
In a classroom, the light is necessary.
Essential.
And in our climate, it is necessary to reduce this ratio for limit the heat transfer.
Yes, a trade-off.
Yeah.
I want a lot of light, but not so much heat. So
Yeah.
we have to find a balance, a trade-off.
And also the distribution of the desk,
Yes.
not
But also the exposition, for example, south or maybe east and west, because lessons will be in the morning. So the facade is best to orient south, east or west. Maybe the ratio changes because the classes are in the morning. The temperature is different, the light is different in the morning, the afternoon, the midday and afternoon. So some ideas. So, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
your name is Lakhdari or Khaoula?
Yeah.
How should
First name.
Which is your short name? So,
Khaoula.
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 which H? How?
KH.
KH.
Yeah.
Khaoula.
Khaoula.
So this is your short name. Okay. Your short name.
Adel.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Next one. You want to use your
Yes.
disconnect. So what? 1 and 2. That also you are on the screen.
My name is Bar Souheila. I'm a PhD student in architecture and environment. I have an engineering degree in architecture in 2012. Then I have a master degree in architecture and in urban and architectural heritage in 2015. And now I'm enrolled in third year architecture and environment. My thesis is entitled "The Biomimicry in Search of an Adapted Urban Form: The Case of Hot and Arid Regions." So the ecological impact of the rapid urbanization forces us to rethink what a sustainable city would be. One of the most appropriate answers today is to say that it would be biomimetic, facing the fact that there are ecosystems on Earth which don't cause and don't endure the same ecological problems as us. Our tomorrow's cities should imitate and be inspired by the living world. Nature has always been a source of inspiration for architectural forms and theories. Much architectural design has been affected by natural creation, living or not living, such as complex adaptive systems, patterns, and strategies of sustainable progression elaborated and exercised by a living organism over billions of years of development, and which provide us as a guide to solve our today's problems and helps us to create new, more sustainable forms. I would like to let you know what is biomimicry. Biomimicry, as defined by Djenaihi, is an innovative approach that calls for the transfer and adaptation of principles and strategies developed by the living organisms and ecosystems in order to create sustainable products and services that make human societies more compatible with the biosphere. In search of sustainable urban design and architecture, biomimicry represents an interesting, innovative approach produced and developed by nature. It's considered as a methodology for sustainable innovation, improving all fields of human technology and becoming an essential phase facilitating all design process, such as the architectural design. This innovative current inviting engineers, architects, and urban planners to explore and exploit nature, which represents an inexhaustible source of knowledge and the potential to plan, design, organize, and build sustainably, which is the object of this research entitled Biomimicry in Search of an Adapted Urban Form, the case of hot and arid regions. So this research aims mainly to study the contribution of the biomimetic approach in architecture and urban sustainability. We try to benefit from this approach to seek useful, inspirational models to imitate in the design and the creation of sustainable urban forms adapted to the hot and arid climates. The question that arises is how can biomimicry equate as sustainable urban forms, how to imitate the harmony of adaptation of the natural forms and ecosystems in the creation of urban forms more adapted to the hot and arid climates. Could we imitate the adaptation aspects of the living organism in the adaptation of the urban forms? The question is this conceivable? Could we achieve an optimal exploitation of this inexhaustible source of progress and innovation? Nature has perfected its model for billions of years. Shouldn't we seek answers to our problems therein? Nature has developed many adaptive systems, patterns, and strategies which are suitable for the bio-inspired conception, and in this research we are trying to exploit some useful models that present interesting characteristics for the creation of new bio-inspired urban forms. We are also looking to develop a set of principles and concepts allowing the adaptation of these forms to the hot and arid climates. We are therefore trying to transcend the design of these natural forms and creation to understand the principles underlying them in order to obtain a set of concepts and strategies that allow the adaptation of these forms. In order to achieve the research aim, we have identified the objectives and the needs to be sought according to the research problem. The study starts by an exploratory research on nature, biomimicry, and the influence of this approach on architecture and urban design. Then we searched for biological patterns that could serve us as inspirational models. According to their formal or their forms or strategic characteristics appropriate to the adaptation of the urban forms. Afterward, an analytical study was done on the selected models which have interesting forms or particular adaptive properties that respond to the needs sought. To understand the principles underlying them while dependent the study on all the characteristics that can serve us in the adaptation process. After the process of the identification of the selected models that could be adopted in the configuration of the new forms, we pass to the abstraction of this solution based on the biological patterns to transfer this adaptation properties and strategies in the adaptation of the new configurations. After the elaboration of the concepts and the principle which could be adopted in our configuration, we pass to the reinterpretation and the creation of the new forms. In the end, a feasibility study will be done on the modeled forms to evaluate their efficiency, to elaborate a set of concepts and principles to be adopted in the adaptation of new urban forms, and to provide recommendations for the future configuration. The principal steps of the biomimicry approach elaborate the explanatory memorandum of the research problem need to identify the interesting natural property related to the research problem, to interpret, to translate the explanatory memorandum into biological concepts and define the parameters, search to look for biological examples which respond to the defined needs, and which are in our case the beehive and the nest of the gap masons décaplaçon, and determine mounts. Then extract, identify patterns and create a taxonomy, description and classification of the natural patterns. Develop concepts, principles and solutions based on natural patterns. Evaluate the solution according to the principles of the natural patterns. The work plan starts by introductory chapter, then first chapter, an urbanistic vision, the urban tissue, the morphology and urban forms. Second chapter, generality on the biomimicry. Third chapter, biomimetic architecture. Fourth chapter, living organisms, inspiration and imitation. And the fifth chapter, modeling and the simulation in results discussion. Thank you.
I already see a common trend among these three work, which is to try to optimize, in general, the use of an architectural space. You look at the nature, he looks at the past history, and the other Khaoula looks at, try to understand which is the okay, I see a common trend, so probably yes. I would begin to think that maybe we should search for the most useful library for them, because Liviano is not really. Maybe we should ask and search on which is the most useful library for you, because of course there will be a lot of studies in English all over Europe, so you can integrate your research. My general idea is to try to help you to make the best of your stay here, because probably some material you can find here more easily than in Algeria. For example, studying in Europe, of course, are more accessible here, I think. I don't know. Yeah. So maybe for the three of you, and maybe for all of you, we should find a suitable library. Because you are very architectural, engineering, and you know there is you know that this year in Venice there is the biennial architectural exposition, the Biennale. You know that there is one of the most famous expositions in the world regarding architecture, which it held every 2 years in Venice, and it's ending on November. So maybe all of you, three of you at least, maybe all of you are very architectural kind. So I'm suggesting for you to go, because I will go myself with my daughter and father, but I don't know when. But I suggest to you to look online. The name in Italian is Biennale di Architettura, which means biennial exposition of architecture in Venice. Venice is nice, maybe so you can look at Venice. You can go together. There is no, I don't remember if there is an access ticket, but it's quite low. You can go, and it's on the idea is maybe you heard the World Exposition that they did in the past, where every country has its own. And I have a publication in my home. I will take you next time. It was taken to this exposition 2 years ago. And it was regarded pavilion of, I think, not Algeria, but maybe, I don't remember. But it was Islamic architecture in the post-colonial era. Some example, it's like a very visual book. Yeah. So you can find all these kind of inputs. Maybe, for example, you can see some pavilion we try to some project we try to implement ideas from the natural world. So, okay.
To invite Andrea Giordano.
And you know maybe the person. But I strongly suggest that you visit So you visit Venice and you visit this exposition, which is very, and there are contributions from Africa for sure. So maybe there is like a big showcase for all the world, what they are doing about energy, what they are doing about so on. So two things: find a library and go online and see Biennale di Architettura Venezia. Biennale, maybe I'll send a link. It ends mid-November, so you have 1 month. You have 1 month from now, then it's over. So it's a nice visit. It's on, mainly it's like not a single building. It's like an area where there are the pavilion of Italy, pavilion of Bahrain, I don't know.
I saw that in pictures.
Yes, it's very famous. Every 2 years, so this year. So, other...
Venice libraries, you want
Yes, of course, probably. But I think for engineering, we can find a library here in Padua, because engineering is very strong in Padua. Civil engineering. And for sure they will have a library. Bigger than Viviano, maybe. I don't know.
something, but not so much.
Okay, we will search. Thank you. Next one. Okay. Thank you. Oops. Okay.
Hello everybody, my name is Walid Djenaihi. I have my diploma in architecture in 2009, and I had master degrees in 2017 in architecture and environment. I have the pleasure today to present my thesis intitulated Sound, the Landmark and Perception of Architecture Space, Case of Person with Visual Impairment. Plan for presentation and introduction, keyword, problematic, hypothesis, objective, and methodology. Inégalité, c'est un désir, l'inégalité est un peu dans ce monde. Inégalité is a desire. Inequality is fact in this world. More than 1 billion persons live with some form of disability. So, 15% of world population. This society category suffer every day certain direct and indirect discrimination. This work concerns the accessibility of architecture and its relation with physical parameters of environment. On the other hand, the search of an interrelation between the diverse and the need of accessibility of persons with visual impairment, marking the possibility to note the importance of minds of composition in general and sound in particular. keyword, sound landmark, visual environment, sensorial perception, wayfinding, and acoustic. Problematic, accessibility. Accessibility, all architecture must be accessible. In general, making architecture accessible concern provide diverse form for disabled person, like ramp, door, automatic door, and lift. But accessibility is not. It's more than just access to the building. It's rather a chain of movement from the parking to evacuation. In the case for handicap, motor and auditorial and mental, the question is largely conceivable by technical solution, like ramp, automatic door, and left, and the bank home. But in the case in the visual handicap, it's problematic. Remains problematic. Provide adequate solution also pose a second difficulty that adequate solution to second integrate with this person with any discrimination. The question is by what means and which concept to find the appropriate solution. The equities offered better accessibility architecture are integrated, in particular to person with visual impairment, is according to interactive between the user and the sensorial factor of environment, and better integration for the people with visual impairment passed by use the many of compensation correspondent of other sense and the hearing in particular. In this way, I consider the sensitive architecture will give more autonomy and security to people with visual impairment. In this way, I consider it will be more fast in circulation space. We facilitate their perception, and the wayfinding will be more easy. In this way, the circular space will consider like cars with sensorial landmark. These sensitive cars to move the point A to B, you will give him this different station or different point, the different landmark, like sound landmark, or tactile landmark, or olfactive landmark. But in this research, on concerted with sound landmark. Objective: improve the life of people with visual impairment and put an integrated design that divide space or use segregation, allow autonomy and integration to the people with visual impairment, improve the perception of architectural space like obstacle by the sound perception. Methodology: in order to reach this objective, to mind two parts. The second is theoric approach. We will theory and biography research to collect possible documents of perception of space to relate to visual impaired people and the importance of mean of compensation in general and sound in particular. The second part, experiment, is taking valor and reading this valor sound, but also method of human science, commented course, interview, etc. In order to compare them and the performance by simulation for proper configuration and optimal model types. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
I was trying to make sample research because again we see that you are going this direction, and I was trying to use, because my idea is to find a library, and I think that you may start to search with using the same interface, because my idea is to help you make the best of your stay here according to your area of research. So, for example, you can start using the same library research interface we used. For example, I was trying to input biomimicry, and probably something will come out, and see which library. And then I can help you go there. So I'm trying to give you very practical help, because myself, okay, my daughter studies architecture, and my mother's style was kind of architecture. So I'm not so alien to this world. But if I have to give you practical help, I can give you this kind of help. Probably Professor Paola can ask some friends, colleagues in specific areas, because we are very architectural and engineering type.
There is in Ancona a town proprio sul near Bologna, no, proprio Ancona.
Ancona è più giù.
Più giù, sì. There is a museum, Onero Museum, the name, that is open for
Blind people.
visit handicap, and there are many percorsi paths to help visitors to know the items present in the museum. But also we can see normally it's for all it's useful to go in this museum because you can provare, you can try the approach that a person not seeing may have with the museum, a closed building. Your research is also for architecture, urban architecture, wall, guide, some that can help persons to live normally. But I think the trip to Ancona, it will be
Ancona you have to take the train.
You can see the website to connect.
I think that maybe wants to do an experience here in Hadagha and to ask some students, Erasmus students, to go to some spaces.
To some?
Spaces here in Hadagha to examine their perception of sound, and if you can have propose something.
But the museum tactile approach is
I don't know who ask, who I should ask. Maybe because you want to relate to other students.
Yes.
I don't know. You should some ideas.
But this thematic is in attention also for our museum. Near the department there is a small didactic museum, and the director present you to her has a big attention to this thematic.
So please, if we don't give you feedback, remind us this request, because maybe a lot of you will. In any case, I tried to use the website library search that I show you, which is Catalogo Unipd. You can use this. I tried view screen, and it gives some results. So, for example, it gives results in library Sami Zerari, which is the. Then maybe just a question. You know the site Academia Edu?
Yeah. These books.
The papers, research papers. I use that not only for the papers, but because if you find a very specific, just an idea I will give you. Okay? If you find a very specific idea, paper, which is, you can look at the biography, and then we'll open the world of the writing. Okay? Because usually I do that. I search, for example, in Egypt, I search for the use of come si chiama il materiale che scavavano per il concime,
il Sebakhin.
I found a very specific paper about Sebak, which is, you know what is Sebak? Okay, don't worry. It's a kind of ancient soil that is used for agriculture, but it contains archaeological evidence, but it is for. For example, I found a very specific paper about Sebak, which could be a very specific paper about Yuri. I look at biography, and with that biography, I do the catalog. So, just to give you some ideas, okay? Because we are not so specific, but we can give some idea. Maybe can get you in contact with some person which are more engineer or architectural type than us. Thank you. You want to learn Italian.
Okay. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Fatma Zohra Hadagha. I'm a PhD student in architecture and urbanism, speciality of urban project and sustainable cities. I am working on a research thesis about ecological issues in favor of sustainable development of the oasis ecosystem, case study of Biskra city. In fact, that Biskra cities suffers from a lot of problems, and especially ecological problems. We tried to classify these problems at the micro-region level, at the scale of the city, and at the scale of the study area. At the micro-region level, we noticed that Biskra city, or the oasis of Biskra city, suffered from a problem of desertification and the degradation of soil quality. At the scale of the city, we noticed that we realized that Biskra suffers from a phenomenon of climate change, degradation of air quality, and the reduction of the area of the palm tree. At the scale of the study area, or the oasis ecosystem, we noticed that there is a problem of a change in temperature from an oasis district to another oasis district, and we noticed that people neglige the climatic benefits of the oasis, and we noticed that there is a degradation of the traditional habitat, a degradation of the irrigation system, and we noticed that there is a problem of urban pollution and destruction of the oasis biodiversity. For this reason, we are looking for finding the main factors of the degradation of the oasis ecosystem in Biskra and the ecological issues to mobilize for sustainable development of the oasis ecosystem in Biskra. And we want to demonstrate that sociocultural and urbanistic and environmental and political factors are the cause of this degradation, and to find the relationship between the ecological issues of sustainable development and the control strategy of the oasis metabolism, because we tried to stimulate the oasis ecosystem like a body in, like body, human body, who is sick. So this is why we use the concept of metabolism.
Of an oasis.
Yes,
like an ecosystem.
Exactly. And for this reason, we want to create a strategy that could rééquilibrer. Exact. This metabolism. We have 3 parts in this research thesis. The first one is theoretical and contains 2 chapters. The first one concerned the sustainable development and the relationship between the ecological issues and urban metabolism. The second one is about the definition of traditional oasis ecosystem. Then there is a methodology part. It's about 2 chapters. The first one is about the case study presentation. The second one is about the methodology of this research. The third one is for the practical part. It contains 2 chapters. The first one is about the factors of degradation of the oasis ecosystem, and the second one concerning the ecological issues of sustainable development, where we can create a strategy or propose a strategy for controlling the oasis metabolism, so the oasis ecosystem. The methodology of this research is based in a lot of approach. The first one is diachronic, the second one is cartographic, numerical approach, and multi-criteria analysis. We want to follow the evolution of the ecosystem oasis since the pre-colonial or the traditional period till the contemporary or the actual period. And through these maps, we noticed that the area of the green area, I mean the palm trees area, is reducing through time, and the urban area is increasing. And we want to put these maps that we will create with arches. Yes, we want to put these cards in another software called Environment to measure the climatic change. And like that, we demonstrate that we lost a lot of climatic benefits of the palm trees. And the multi-criteria analysis is based on the analysis of the energy consumption of some houses and a comparative evolution of the land use and the air quality. So that's all. Thank you for your attention.
So you already use GIS somehow?
I did a formation before. It was very simple. I now saw some basic in ArcGIS, but it is very complicated that I can't.
Depends on what you want to do.
Yes.
Because you want to put together some information in GIS to do some calculation.
Yes, exactly. I want to calculate the number of palm trees through ArcGIS.
Okay, depends on what data you put in. If it's only an image, if it's only also data.
Yeah.
Because usually, what can you do in GIS? For example, you put in that shape, which is a vector, if you know vector.
Yes, I know.
And GIS can make you some calculation about areas.
Okay, good.
And so you can put some numbers in an Excel table, you can do something like this.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can qualify different areas with a number, say select only area type 1 compared to area type 2, or do some kind of mean with some different weights depending on the type of area. So this is the kind of calculation you can do. Then if you have, because you don't, it's a very complicated subject, it depends specifically on what you want to do.
Okay.
In general, I think we will do some very basic QGIS, not ArcGIS, but because of the reason of license. If you learn QGIS, you can use QGIS always because it's free.
Yes.
Maybe in your own industry you have a license for that GIS. Or no?
A student, I have a
Student, 1 year.
Yes.
And then, yes. I experienced that myself. I forgot everything about ArcGIS because the year after it was finished.
Okay.
So there is a battle between me and Luigi about QGIS and GIS. Okay. I'm also Salemi and I fight for QG.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry.
The G3 will be pros like
Yes, I installed in my there. I have QGIS and QGIS3. QGIS3 is a lot different, and it also has new features which were missing. For example, 3D, but also numerical calculation on raster. You want to channel red, you know, indexes you can make on. So, okay, we will. I have to think about, and also the last Salemi, because I know that Salemi in his course is using QGIS. I don't know if he's using QGIS 2 or QGIS 3. Personally, because as I said before, I know QGIS 2. I'm beginning now to try to look at QGIS 3. So maybe I'm not so efficient in explaining you QGIS 3.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have any cartographic documentation
Yes.
in Algeria about the planning of
Palm tree.
trees?
So how the
Extension.
yes, how long in the past you look for this change? 100 years, 200 years? You compare the situation now
Yeah.
to the past.
Yes.
This past is 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years.
From the 108, no,
You are not-
1,818.
Okay. 1818.
1880.
Okay. So to do this study, you use our cartographic material.
I have some maps
Okay.
from archive
Okay.
documents, and I find some maps in Google Earth,
Yes.
and I have actual cards.
Yes. We're looking for some Guarda Google Earth. Maybe we can share some information.
Okay.
Because Julia was making also research, more at the area of exit, not really.
It's so different.
Because the oldest cartography I can think of are Napoleonic maps.
Napoleon?
Ceramic in Algeria.
Algeria, no, I was thinking about Egypt. Really.
French.
Yes.
Yes, for French, because my knowledge there is more toward Egypt, because we studied an oasis which is in the Fayoum, which is we have some maps from Napoleonic area.
Yeah.
Probably in your case, the first measurement are French, probably.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
General Dios, I think. It
General?
was Colonel Dios.
Okay.
He was the topographer and the cartographer, and he has a book in Djenaihi. It's called.
So this is your oldest record.
Yeah.
Because before the French, you don't have some local record of.
Before the French colonization, the oasis of Biskra was colonized by Turkish people too.
So maybe they did some.
Yes, I found some
Okay.
cards.
So you can go before the French.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sono viaggiatori anche.
And also because if you, another thing, if you don't have a map, there is the written sources.
Yes.
People traveled going there in this 18th century,
Yes.
saying that there was a oasis there,
Yes.
there was a column there. So cartography can go back to the Turkish.
Yes. I found some schematic cards.
Thematic. Okay.
Yes. I think that we can use them.
Okay, we can share this information with you. It's also for us because usually when they record the palm tree oasis, they also record the ruins.
Yeah.
because the ruins are a landmark.
Yes.
You put the ruins on a map because ruins here, so you are here. If you see the ruins, you are here. The palms are 1 kilometer from the ruins.
Yes.
The ruins should be not so far from the palms for obvious reasons, because also in the past they needed water. So.
Yes.
Last summer, when I was in Seoul, I found they used the Romanian stone. They used to make them like column in the house.
Yes, yes. The question is where they put them. Because we went to Israel, if you remember, we made a stop. Come on. They called us inside a house. It was a sculpture, I don't know. Okay, very nice. Where? Because most important thing is where. Not is nice.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
okay, it's nice, but exactly where? Because you. Maybe before the picture. So we can understand maybe under there is a old world that can implement tourism in Algeria and make all of you rich. So it's also for you because it's your treasure. It's a discovery of your treasure, your country.
Yes.
Tourism in the future, maybe not now, but in the future, can be a source of richness for you, for your country.
Yes.
Maybe.
How important is the life of a palm tree?
شحال سايش في رايك؟ Bien.
Between 15 and 100.
And 100 villages, 15 and 100. Like a person.
It's interesting also to understand if people the population.
Yes. In fact, that people are the first cause of this degradation because they don't care about this palm tree and they cut the palm trees to buy this land like an urban land because the cost of the urban land is more expensive than the agricultural land. Yes. Unfortunate.
Are there studies in North Africa about the continuity of all these, perhaps in Libya?
Yes.
Erasmus,
Yeah.
I don't know. Because there also there is continuity of cultivation.
Okay.
And from antiquity
Yes.
until now.
Is this a question or a remark?
That's not a question.
Okay.
It's a reflection.
Okay. Thank you.
Because in Erasmus there is all the system of circulation of water.
Yes.
Towards the cultivation of the country.
Yeah.
And there was a regolamentazione of water, regulation of water.
Yes. Good.
In some hours every day.
Yes.
Towards.
Yes. It's the traditional system of the distribution of water in the oasis. Yes.
It's conservative.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay.
La gouvernance. Thank you.
show you the cards that I found?
The cards, yes. Maybe it's better to wait also Julia.
Yes.
Because she did something similar for the Egypt.
Next week, Julia is coming to the
Thank you.
And also Egypt.
Bonjour à tous, je me présente, je m'appelle Sami, je suis de Biskra, encadré par Madame Sriselila. Je suis une enseignante au département d'architecture de Biskra. Elle a fait plusieurs recherches sur l'architecture traditionnelle et ses développements à travers le temps. Je suis doctorant inscrit en deuxième année option architecture. Donc mon sujet de doctorat concerne pratiquement les contributions à la caractérisation morphologique et architecturale du patrimoine religieux musulman en Algérie, Kadimba, mosquée du Bar Souheila. Avant d'entamer le vif de notre sujet, il serait utile de présenter l'islam, la religion islamique. L'islam est une religion monothéiste révélée au prophète Mohammed à la Mecque en Arabie au 7e siècle. Cette religion s'appuie principalement sur 5 points: la profession de la foi, les 5 prières quotidiennes et la dîme, c'est-à-dire zakat, la jeûne canonique du Ramadan et le pèlerinage à Mecque. Donc l'avènement de l'islam au 7e siècle est l'un des événements les plus marquants de l'histoire du Maghreb. Avec l'arrivée d'Uqba ibn Nafi', l'Algérie berbère entame sa phase d'islamisation et d'arabisation. Le syncrétisme culturel finit par créer un nouveau langage architectural et stylistique, ainsi que des nouveaux apports artistiques et constructifs qui feront transporter et diffuser par des artisans voyageant d'un pays à un autre. La mosquée, lieu où l'on fait la prière musulmane, était au cœur de la cité islamique. Elle était à la fois l'institution primordiale de la société musulmane et lieu culturel et spirituel qui caractérisa l'architecture islamique. L'architecture des mosquées s'est développée à travers le monde, selon des styles et d'expressions artistiques différents. Comme vous voyez sur le schéma, il y a différents types de mosquées qui inspirent pratiquement de la première mosquée du prophète Mohammed à Médine. Il y a des mosquées arabes, la mosquée ottomane, et la mosquée indienne, la mosquée irakienne, et perse, etc. Et voilà ça, l'évolution de la mosquée à travers le monde. Donc, en Algérie, le Maghreb central, l'architecture des mosquées s'est développée selon l'époque et les lieux. Ainsi, les mosquées patrimoniales construites avant l'indépendance de l'Algérie et surtout celles intérieures de la première moitié du XXe siècle, différentes du point de vue de leur apparence d'une région à l'autre. Le Bar Souheila, qui correspond à 3 micro-régions géographiques du sud algérien, les Ibans, le Hadagha et le Souf, illustre ce constat et offre un champ d'investigation et d'exploration intéressant pour la connaissance scientifique du patrimoine religieux. Ceci induit les questions suivantes. Quelles sont les différentes typologies des mosquées produites dans l'ère géographique du Bas-Sahara? Existe-t-il des similitudes formelles, stylistiques qui s'appliquaient à la construction de ces mosquées? Et quelles particularités morphologiques et constructives distinguent ces différentes mosquées appartenant à cette région du sud algérien? L'hypothèse, elle semble que les mosquées du Bas-Sahara se distinguent morphologiquement et architecturalement en fonction des spécificités de chaque région, micro-région. Et quand on interroge la question des spécificités, il y a 3 points nécessaires, c'est-à-dire la spécificité de la société, la spécificité de la culture constructive de chaque région et l'apport des influences artistiques de chaque région. L'objectif de cette étude est de caractériser et enrichir la connaissance sur l'héritage religieux spécifique de l'Algérie en se basant sur la mosquée appartenant à l'ère géographique du Bas-Sahara. Cette étude va identifier les caractéristiques stylistiques de ce patrimoine religieux, offrir une base de données propre aux mosquées de la région du Bas-Sahara, ainsi que leur modélisation morphologique qui sert de référence pour les architectes contemporains. Faire connaître et protéger cet héritage et focaliser les attentions sur celui-ci et offrir la possibilité de puiser des renseignements et des références pour les nouveaux projets. Cette connaissance permettra une meilleure compréhension de ce patrimoine religieux qui, à ce jour, reste méconnu, voire marginalisé. En effet, ces mosquées sont toujours restées à l'écart des recherches scientifiques académiques effectuées sur cette zone, le Bas-Sahara, malgré l'importance qu'elles présentent à l'échelle régionale et nationale. La méthodologie qui va préconiser, c'est l'analyse morphologique, à la recherche d'une identité formelle. L'analyse morphologique, comme est préconisée par le laboratoire d'analyse des formes de Lyon, consiste à définir par des méthodes comparatives les caractéristiques observées et menées qui donnent à des ensembles d'édifices une identité morphologique. Cette méthode permet d'autres de classification d'ensembles de projets architecturaux entretenant entre eux certaines affinités structurelles, mais morphologiquement différenciables. Elle peut être envisagée comme moyen d'une connaissance spécifique de ces objets dès lors qu'elle porte sur la disposition de leur partie, c'est-à-dire leur propriété morphologique. La constitution de corpus d'études, choix des spécimens d'études. L'architecture religieuse dans le Bas-Sahara se comprend principalement sur 3 institutions à caractère sacré, les mosquées, les zaouïas et le mausolée maraboutique. Considérant que les objectifs de cette étude, seules les mosquées feront l'objet de l'analyse. Et pour faire l'analyse à ces mosquées, il faut l'identifier. Et pour l'identifier, en se basant sur 5 points nécessaires: l'interrogation et les témoignages de la population autochtone, les documents écrits, les documents graphiques, la documentation photographique ancienne et actuelle, les mosquées comme source d'information, marques et inscriptions portées par l'œuvre. À la fin, on va restituer l'historique des mosquées, saisir l'évolution et la transformation des mosquées, faire ressortir la valeur et l'importance de ces mosquées, puisque l'analyse morphologique s'effectuait pratiquement sur l'état authentique des mosquées. La collecte des données, voici des exemples. Le monument comme source d'inspiration, comme source d'inscription portée par l'œuvre. Les documents écrits, récoltés, les documents graphiques, les cartes postales et la comparaison entre les anciennes et les nouvelles. Fiche technique. Le relevé comme moyen de collecte de données. Avant d'entamer un relevé, il faut faire une fiche technique. Une fiche technique se base exactement sur des critères. Ces critères seront utilisés comme des critères de classification morphologique de ces patrimoines religieux. Le relevé est basé sur une méthode traditionnelle avec dans le cadre de l'absence des outils développés. Donc on utilise pratiquement le laser mater pour les auteurs et le mètre pour la méthode de triangulation. Après avoir pris le relevé, on le dessine à l'aide de l'archicad. Et merci pour votre attention.
It was a you understand English? Because the end of last year, there was a seminar in English, which I recorded in video for Professor Chavaria, about our view of the evolution of the mosque. So maybe it can be interesting for you, but it's in English, not in Italian, so better than for you. So I can send a link. It's a video we made in Viviano. It was a professor from Spain, because you know Spain had a lot of influence. Okay. And he did very 3 lessons on the maybe things you already know. Maybe it's interesting to see another point of view on the same process. I don't know. Other
A database.
Pardon?
There is a database for collecting all the.
You are creating a big database of numbers.
Yeah.
Compare.
Because la région de Chita est plus large. Il y a 3 régions, le Bas-Sahara. Se compose de 3 régions, le Liban, le Souk et le Madria. Donc il faut récolter le maximum possible des mosquées pour valider notre l'analyse morphologique se base sur 30 ans de mosquées avec les critères.
It's very important to collect
Le maximum possible de documentation.
With the same methodic system all the
data. So my contribution for you is I have a book which was I took in Biennale di Architettura 2 years ago, which is about Islamic architecture. It's very visual, as I told you. Maybe if you remember, because I will forget, I will make you a look, and I will please. I will try to send. If I forget, please send me a question. I will give you a link to the videos of this seminar, which was the evolution of the mosque in Islamic world, also in Spain. So maybe some ideas. I don't know.
I think in our library there are
yes.
many.
In your case, in our library, you are
many books.
Because you are like a little bit of history, evolution, transformation.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So I will try to remember, send you something. If I told you something and you are not receiving, ask me, because I for sure I will forget.
This question, you know, in our field, architecture,
Yes.
sometimes there is no specific methodology of research. We try to run from different fields their methodologies, and they will apply them in our research. If you know a good book in Italian or in English that describe principal methodology
of architecture,
or
your colleague.
even in methodology of research in general.
The argument is like being like probably there are not
I know very well about ancient architecture, Greek and Roman architecture, not
maybe we should combine things with some professor.
We invite our colleague history of architecture, architecture, and I think they
Yes, we should combine everything.
The research methodology.
Research methodology. Yes, personally, I don't know. We shall ask.
Not about architecture. It's about different research methodology in different fields. There is
the scientific method.
Yes, there is experimental, historical.
It's a very big argument.
Because
the most important thing database is important because of the knowledge we have about every thematic is based on data
Yes.
correctly
Acquired. Yes, regarding elaboration of data methodology, this is like a question about, in general, about the scientific method. So it's a very general argument. It depends on your kind of, so I don't have a specific
you use some program for collecting data. You sell some informatic program to create a database.
Excel and use observation.
With the word key
Numbers. We use numbers.
For example, you study atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's necessary to collect data about plan, windows, dimension of windows, presence
or
or not of inherent 1, 2, 3.
Yes, this is also the kind of information usually used to GIS or GIS in general, because you have a geographical point, which is an geographical information, and the point is connected to a row of data. Year of foundation, square meter, surface area, number of minarets. If there is a central, we probably wash.
Evolution.
Yes.
Also,
Error of orientation.
dimension,
Or mega, because
position, water, also for analysis. It's the same methodology.
Yes. In general, this one instrument is GIS, for example, because geographical information at every point has a circuit. But in general, how do you process this information is like a question very general. So maybe, okay, Khaoula can organize a meeting with Las Valdes, con che ci aveva detto
Andrea Giordana.
Forse nel caso si riesce a organizzare. So I will collect your presentation if it's okay for you. You can give me PDF or as you like. If you want, I can wait so you can
Send you last email.
Or you can give me now or you can send me later. As you like.
I think we will give you now.
Okay. So if we can organize a meeting, we can have some material you can show on the meeting. This one. Okay. You have a USB.